Sweet babies, I'm Monique.
And I'm Sydney.
And we're coming to y'all today to let you know we're standing with all the unions that are striking right now. And we have a story that we must share of our own with the community. Countess Vaughn and I did a show called The Parkers. The Parkers has now been on air for 24 years. And they're trying to convince us, through our ownership of the show, that we made absolutely no money.
And it's baffling, being that when you have a conversation with the executive producers and they allude to the fact that the show in its entirety, 5 years, was made for under $70 million. It went out of production in 2004, but by 2009, we see profit participation statements that show the program made over $700 million, but yet was in a close to $1 billion, if not $1 billion deficit.
So what we're asking you, CBS, is can you please treat these two black women fairly? When our brother Dave Chappelle, who ironically had a deal with CBS, said he signed a deal out of desperation and it was a bad deal, they were able to go back and do the right thing. And they made that deal fair and they paid Dave Chappelle what he rightfully deserved. What we're asking you, CBS, don't pay us any more, but don't pay us any less.
And the reason why we're having this conversation out loud for the community to hear is this. We see the numbers and they still don't want to pay. What will happen to you when you don't even know the numbers exist?
So we're asking you, and when we say community, we mean community as in the ones that's fighting for equality. Will you stand with us? CBS, will you treat us fairly? We love y'all for real, my babies.
I love us for real in my Monique voice. They're going to stop playing with my auntie. Monique has gone up against some heavy hitters, and now Monique is facing up with no other than CBS. Now, see, this is considered to be career suicide, but when Monique can go up against a company like Netflix and not only settle out of court, but then get her own comedy special, you have to see that this is a force to be reckoned with. Monique has had her share of controversy, especially with going up against names like Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels, but Monique never, ever backed down. She stayed true, and even on some cases, doubling down. Okay? Monique has been labeled as crazy or problematic or insane, but the more that she sheds lights on certain situations, my chatters, I'm starting to see there's a lot of truth into what she's been telling us all along. Now, I always say this, if you can own something, own it. A lot of people are so happy to sign a contract, whether it's a record deal or an acting and things of that nature, but if you can produce it on your own, that's the best way to go, because we're finding that a lot of these contracts are wicked. Monique right now is fighting to be equally compensated for her show, The Parkers. Now, this is a show that we all watched. This is a show that was on for years. This is a show that is literally on syndication on major platforms like Netflix. So why is it like the cast of Friends and things of that nature, they don't have to fight for their ownership or to be compensated, but we're seeing time and time again that this happens. Monique is simply stating to her and Countess Vaughn and to the others, pay us. Just simple. You know, and just like her scutterbutt with Tyler and Lee Daniels and Oprah Winfrey, she's saying basically, let's just be fair, because if you want to take it there now, Oprah's had her share too, because Janet Jackson, who's Little Miss non-problematic, was very vocal and stood up because she felt betrayed that Oprah Winfrey would go produce and even put on HBO and interviewed the accusers of Michael Jackson. And the Jackson family are stating for years, we gave you exclusives. How could you do this to us? Lee Daniels, who Monique was also at odds with, there's a viral video of Dame Dash pressing him, stating, you owe me money, because Dame Dash put money into a production that never necessarily came to light. And he just won his $5 million lawsuit not too long ago. And Tyler is Tyler. He's had his share, and we'll leave that there. But it's not like these people have not had their share of controversy, and Monique shed light on that, and so many people called her crazy. As a woman, when you're in a certain demographic, or when you're in a certain climate, or when you're in a certain tax bracket, or even certain professions, if you speak up for certain things, you have that B word that comes out, or you're problematic, or oh my goodness, why are you always? And then if you add a minority into that, how dare you stand up for what's right? Because they're going to put that B label on you. And we've seen it time and time again. Now, Monique stated that she was blacklisted, and well, we don't know that to be true. We do know that when she did go against those heavy hitters, we didn't see her as much. And it took no other than 50 Cent to say, no, we're not doing this. I'm about to put her in my show. 50 Cent, no others. And even still to this day, we don't see Monique as much. But I don't think she's hurting for a coin. Financially, I definitely think that she's secure. However, it's still very ironic that she's not as seen as she once was, since she went head to head with some heavy hitters. And it makes me wonder, do we have our own wolves within our own community that would do this to a fellow sister? I don't know, chatters. The more people talk, the more I listen. And I don't think Monique is insane at all. I think she's very sane. I think her issues are very valid, and people need to start listening to her. As always, make sure to like, comment, follow, and subscribe, and draw your own conclusion. Make sure you're following me on Facebook for daily motivation or some humor. Just follow the pink tongue at Chatty Cathy. Later, chatters.